Quick disclaimer, I'm not talking about politics here. This is purely observational and it's based on something in my own life. I'm very conscious of keeping my channel free of politics or anything blatantly divisive. My goal is to entertain and inform, and that's it. So if you check out my channel, you can see I've worked on dozens of videos so far. I use AI to generate images to tell my stories. A lot of my stories happen to involve white people. I'm white. Most of my experiences involve mostly white people. That's just how my life is gone. It's not a racist thing, it's just how things unfolded. What I find shocking is that the AI tools I use tend to create unflattering images of non-white people whenever I request images that involve bad behavior, illegal activity, or anything slightly questionable. I always have to add the word Caucasian and regenerate the images to get characters that I need for my stories. Just this morning, I started working on a story about two kids who walk home from school in 2nd grade. One of them asks if he can come over and play video games. The other kid says he can't have friends over while his parents are at work. Well, the first kid goes crazy and tries to force his way into the apartment and almost gets in. The kid who lives in the apartment uses all his strength to keep the crazy kid out. He barely manages to close and lock the door. The crazy kid pounds on the door and yells obscenities and threats until he finally decides to leave. The kid in the apartment suddenly gets scared and runs to the living room window to look outside. His instincts are right. The crazy kid is trying to hammer a nail into the apartment kid's bike tire. It's a brand new orange mountain bike that the kid got for his birthday, and this nut job is trying to hammer a nail in the tire and flatten it. He manages to get the nail in, but it doesn't pop the tire, so he gives up, kicks the bike, and walks home. Now, if you're asking yourself what kind of crazy story this is, I can assure you it happened because I was the kid in the apartment. I told my parents what happened, and they took me to school the next day because I was too scared to go alone. The police ended up interviewing the kid and his parents, and it turns out he really was crazy and got sent away to boarding school. I don't know what happened to him after that. I never saw him again, but that whole experience really scared the hell out of me. So I was working on the story this morning and figured I would try to create the images of the kid hammering a nail into my bike tire. To me, that's the central image of the story. I wanted to focus on that and see if I could get it right. I put in this prompt. Outside an apartment building on a grey October afternoon, an angry 7-year-old boy with black hair, black shorts and grey t-shirt hammers a nail into the tire of a new orange mountain bike. The bike is chained to a bike rack along with a few other bikes. Check out what the AI engine gave me. Remember, I didn't use the word Caucasian. I didn't mention what part of the country this took place in. Matter of fact, I didn't even say what country. But I think it's really telling that absolutely none of the images that were generated show a single white kid taking part in the bike attack. Forget the fact that the images don't even show a bike rack and would be totally useless for the story I was trying to depict. The point is, the kids, they're either Latino or Asian. I find that pretty disturbing. It makes me wonder what kind of guidelines these AI programmers are busy putting into their algorithms. There's either some serious flaws in their coding, or they just assume that this story could take place anywhere in the world, and the chances of the characters being white are probably the same, or maybe lower, than them being non-white. I'm on the fence about what all this means. I'm curious to know what you guys have found with your own AI work. Let us know. It's a strange journey we're on.